my dreams were always to have a super big, like, instrumental role in the Northwestern comedy scene. Something that's interesting is that Prattic kind of takes an underground role in relation to Northwestern, right?
Okay.
Because everyone knows it's Northwestern, right? It's all Northwestern students in there for the most part. It's run by Northwestern people. It's on an area of Northwestern or area of Evanston that's like the Northwestern neighborhood, right? But it's everything except for in writing that is the Northwestern.
Welcome back, guys. This is PCWB.
Yeah.
Professor and a comedian walk into a bar. This is episode number I don't know.
Yeah.
And today we are joined by students. Northwestern students,
Yeah.
guys. Welcome.
Entrepreneurs and
Barely.
entertainers.
Yes. And they're about to graduate.
Seniors
Yeah,
who have a few weeks left. This is actually our first episode. Typically we bring in scholars or comics, but this is our first episode, right? We haven't done one with students before.
I think this is the first one.
Wow.
Yeah. So we want to welcome you guys, Mateo and Jackson.
Yeah,
Thank you for
guys.
having us.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Happy to be the first students on here. We'll set a good expectation.
Small world. I actually met Jackson at a gig, and I judge every comic I ever meet for the first time on how quickly we trash wherever we're at. And we got to it immediately. I was like, oh, I like him.
I thought, Mike's like, oh yeah, Jackson. Oh yeah, that's a good guy.
That was a fun gig, bro. That was my first. That was the longest I've ever done, bro. That
No
was scary
kidding.
as
How many
shit.
minutes
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah.
It was like 10, but with the late night stuff after, it was at the comedy bar with the late night stuff after. It was
Who
like
was hosting
15
that night?
minutes.
Was it
It was Vic.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it was Vic.
Monday
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, Monday show. Yeah, dude. I remember
So
just
chill.
getting a pot belly, just running my shit for like 3 hours,
Yeah,
bro. Just like back to back. But it was fun, bro.
And Vic is one of those guys who's just chill. They can just sit back and be like, let's trash this place that we run.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Samir,
bro.
are the mics cool for them? Is
Yeah,
that the right?
yeah, they should be good if the levels look
Excellent.
good.
Okay,
Fine.
beautiful.
Man,
Okay.
welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're going to talk all things. You guys got a festival coming up. You guys are comedians. You guys run. We're going to get into all that. But can you just start by kind of quick intros to yourself, like where, like your name, your major, just what your life is like as a student here, and then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, you want to go for it?
Yeah, I can start. I'm Jackson. I'm a fourth year at Northwestern. I'm RTVF, so that's radio, television, and film. I grew up in Rogers Park, but then my family, we moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin when I was 11. So it's kind of like half and half. But right now we're just surviving, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. I got to pass. I'm taking my last quarter of German right now. So that's like the last thing I gotta do before I graduate. And if I fail this class, I don't graduate. So shit is real.
Wow.
Shit is real. Yeah, shit is pretty real. It's not looking great. It's looking okay. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. Technically, I had a quiz today, but we'll figure it out. Technically,
Sprechen in the Deutsch, and he's over here.
I'm dissing Deutsch sprechen. Yeah, bro. So we're trying our best.
You might need to offer your professor free tickets to you guys.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I literally did.
angle.
I was like, hey, I might have to miss class, but you should totally pull up to our festival. So I'm plugged.
He's like, just pull up.
Yeah.
One thing.
Pull up. I just said pull up. Yeah.
You take a picture of your professor with a white claw, like, so I'm graduating, right?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hopefully, man. Yeah.
All right, Mateo, how about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mateo. I'm also a fourth year. I'm originally from southern New Mexico, like 30 minutes away from the border. And I am majoring in political science and international studies. So I'm hoping to go into some sort of like international politics. If I can get a job, we'll see.
If you can get a job,
Yeah.
I think that industry is bubbling.
Yeah, no, it's huge right now. It's where everyone.
What's going on? What's
It's
going
on.
on?
It's huge.
Not much going on.
Might be a help wanted sign too.
Well, it's just everything's very chill right now, and
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of like need for jobs. Nothing's going on in the world. So
Did you guys come in with those majors, or did you guys switch into those majors?
No, we've
been straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
Literally the whole time.
And
Yeah.
how'd you guys go from that to stand up?
It all starts with the house. I think.
Yeah,
It all
honestly,
starts with the house.
we moved into this like shit box. We actually I wouldn't say they took advantage of us, but like we signed it like a year and a half before we moved in, and they were like, "You need to once you tour it, you need to sign it immediately because everybody else wants it.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted
Nobody
it.
wanted that
They were
shit.
absolutely
Nobody wanted
lying
that
to
shit,
us.
bro.
Yeah.
And so it's like a shit box, but it just has
It's not a
this-
fraternity.
No,
Just
no.
okay.
Yeah, just like a regular house. And honestly, I think it was occupied by like the baseball team or something like that before.
Mhm.
So essentially a fraternity.
Okay.
And it just had this like massive attic, just massive. And
And you two were roommates.
Yeah, with three other friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So it's like
yeah,
five
there's
people
5 of
in
us.
and we were just like, what can we do with it? And Jackson, he got his start. He did like a lot of improv in Prague
Yeah.
because we studied abroad sophomore year.
Mhm.
And
Both of you in Prague?
No, I was in Paris actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah, wait, do y'all know kind of how the Northwestern real estate situation works for like off-campus living? It's crazy.
It's
like
awful.
it's
Talk
awful.
about it.
It's awful.
So
Tell
like
me.
at Northwestern, when you have to live your first 2 years in the dorms, right?
Okay.
But for your junior year, you gotta move off campus.
Mhm.
Basically, everybody, unless you're an RA or unless you got different circumstances. So the market is so competitive that we were looking for houses at the end of freshman year
Yeah.
because you got to sign a lease a year ahead of
Like
time.
a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bro, what I would give to be one of these realtors in
Yeah.
Evanston
Right,
who
yeah.
sell these. I mean,
oh my God.
if
They
you
have
sell,
upper
to sell
hand.
these
It's
right,
a non-stop clockwork.
it's nonstop,
market.
and they're renting these houses for $5K. Basically,
Yeah.
these houses that I mean, if you
Just no morals at all.
no morals
at all.
Just
Yeah.
zero.
if you
morals.
saw how we lived, like it is crazy that we were paying that much for that. But that's just the market in Evanston, you
sure.
know, with kind of the interesting place that property values are. So you got a lot of houses that used to be big, kind of multi-family homes. But so, anyways, yeah, we were getting locked into this. When did we sign the lease? Like the summer of freshman and sophomore year.
I was on
Oh, wow.
I was on some like
Yeah.
random train in Europe with my mom and my brother, and we were like on some FaceTiming, like we have to sign this now.
Yeah.
We have to
It's-
sign this
wow.
now.
It's serious. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's serious because you don't want to be somebody, and everyone finds a place to live.
Yeah,
but you know, we
eventually.
got people who, you know, you got to scramble. So we got shit. So we had this house. It's called the Prattic. It's on Pratt Court, and it's got an attic. So it's got
5-minute
this
walk from here.
5 minute, yeah, 10
Yeah,
minute, 10,
5
5,
minute
10 minute walk right by the Foster Purple Line stop.
Yep.
And we just knew we wanted to do something with it, you know, because it's like three stories. So me, Mateo, our roommate Luca lived on the first story, and then our roommates Ainsley and Liv lived on the second story, and then there's the attic. So the attic is kind of like a communal space
Yeah.
that everyone could have. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of stand-up in Prague, and I'd done a little bit of stand-up in Chicago beforehand, but Prague was the first space that I could do stand-up consistently, you know, and it was an English speaking space and super international.
Yeah.
So like the guy who ran it was from Scotland, but you had people from the Czech Republic, you had people from Italy, you had people from everywhere, and everyone was so supportive. You know, I came in and I just walked in there on an open mic, and it was a really burgeoning scene, and I just remember people always encouraged me to try new things, and they always were just so helpful and open. So being in a space like that, I was like, this is really conducive to being a stand-up. Like I was writing my best stuff, and this was something that I really wanted to continue when we got back to campus, right?
Yeah.
So we came back from this amazing trip abroad and started living in the Prattic, which was awesome. I got back, I instantly got neurovirus. I remember just like the first month back was terrible. Like we had people had mono, people had everything. And when did we do our first show? Like late February, basically.
I think it was like it was like we did our first show mid-February. It was like 7 of us performing to like honestly it was not, and like finding out now it was even more popular than a regular Chicago open mic, but we had like 14 people in the audience.
Yeah, it was crazy, yeah.
Which I guess for like Chicago standards is pretty good actually.
Especially
But-
for your first show.
Yeah. And so it was mostly our friends, and then we just started doing it weekly. We bought a bunch of lawn chairs from
from Academy Sports. You can
Academy
get $7
Sports.
per lawn
Yeah,
chair. So
$7
we
per-
dropped like 100 or some bucks on
Yeah.
hella lawn chairs. And remember our first show, the attic is kind of like it's like a long rectangle, and the entrance is on one side, and we kind of do like an amphitheater, like an arc.
Yep.
And I remember it was all of our friends coming in,
yeah.
and we didn't really know how to do it. And so everyone came in, I was like, hey, spread out among the room, and nobody wanted to. Everyone sat right by the exit, you know? So like
we
everyone
were just
sat
performing to one
side. Everyone sat right by the exit. I remember sweating my ass off. We were doing 3 minute sets.
Yeah,
Mateo,
dude.
how long did you do? It was his first set ever. How long did you go for?
I think my first the lights got so so bright. I think I went for like 5.5 or 6.
It was crazy, bro.
Snapping.
Yeah,
Those 5 minutes could be the long. Like,
Yeah,
It was
I was
actually-
literally just thinking that. Like when you first start, now 3 minutes is like, what am I gonna do
What
after
else
my
do I have to
first
say?
and only minute?
For me at least though, like I was performing and then I hit a good stretch of jokes where people were laughing for like a minute and I was like, fuck it, I can improv for a really long time.
why couldn't you?
What's coming to my
Yeah.
brain? And so then I just started talking and you start like trying to think of the joke as you're talking and you're so caught up like trying to make the joke that you forget or that you don't realize that nobody else is laughing and they're just all waiting for you to get off the stage. And so that's like just 2.5 minutes of straight improv and it's like it's a very valuable learning experience.
Because you get caught up telling the story that 2 other people in the room remember because they were there and nobody else cares. And you don't build any context or bother to throw in like, punchlines.
Yes, let me ask you guys this question. All right, as a professor on this university, I don't get a chance to ask this kind of question, right? What's the vibe of the kind of people who come to the shows? Like, what are they like? Is it like the artsy fartsy kids? Is it like do some of the athletes come?
We get a great mix, honestly.
Great mix.
We get a bunch of frat guys and like a bunch of Greek life people, but we're also like we're connected enough in the film/art scene because like. I don't do film, but I've been working on film sets since like 6th grade. So I work on all the film sets. I'm like unofficially RTVF. And we just get like a great mix of people. And what's really cool too is it's a lot of people returning week after week, which gives us the chance to like try new jokes all the time. Like we're just constantly writing stuff. Because even like we've had Chicago comedians come up and they'll try like the same like 3 minutes every week and it just doesn't work as well because you just got the same audience. But yeah, to answer your question, we just essentially we have like from part of what has been super cool to see is just people we don't even know. We have zero idea who they are just coming into our attic.
Yeah,
man, I'll tell you. I mean, I just popped in there for the first time a few weeks ago, and I had heard about it here and there. I was so impressed. It was like a whole vibe in there in a way, like especially for an open mic, I was expecting the bar in my mind was very, very low, and you guys had a real. It felt like a real show. It felt like a real show.
Pretty low still.
The great thing is that the bar is still so. And I think it kind of goes back to Prague. Is I didn't realize I would only do the open mics as well, but people would buy tickets off the street to come and watch the open mic, and I would really talk and we would have, some nights you'd have a night where there's one person, but a lot of times there would be like 30 tourists in there or like 30 people. And like a thing that it really taught me was like the privilege of just having people in the audience, getting to do that in an open mic, right?
Having
so that was
civilians is everything.
Yeah, exactly. And so we I think that also the audience is really kind of, it's really dictated by who is doing stand-up.
Yeah,
so also
true.
like a big thing that we do is we really, one of our big goals is to lower the barrier of entry for stand-up, right? So it's in our house. People walk up our stairs, they use our bathroom, they're in our space.
Dangerous
but like
stairs.
dangerous stairs.
Very dangerous
And
stairs.
very dangerous stairs. And it's just like anyone can do stand-up. We have people go up, like we try to go weekly or bi-weekly trying to work, but we have people who may never do it again. We have people who may do it over and over again, right? But we've had we've over 100 unique comedians perform, So it really...
It's been running for a couple years now?
It's been running for 1 year.
For 1 year.
That's
A
dope,
little
though,
over
'cause
1 year.
Who wants to watch golf if you've never played it?
Yeah,
like it's a boring game, but if you played it, now you understand like the thing, and you're like, oh, I can appreciate what's happening. Let me ask you guys real quick. Being that you studied abroad, Prague, Paris, is it still? Does being an American abroad still stand out? Are you just another tourist from another country? Are you like, let me study you. Let me tell you what I think about your country. Blah 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 blah.
I mean, in Paris, you're not allowed to talk if you're a foreigner. Like, if you don't speak French, they don't want to fucking hear from you.
Straight up.
They do not want to hear from you. So, like, in Paris, I knew my place. I was very aware. Like, I speak some French, and, like, I had studied it for a year, but I was, like, acutely aware. Like, you go in, like, to any shop, and you just start, like, trying to talk to them in French. The second they hear you mess up, or, like, they, like, observe you and they know that you're American, they're just like, I don't want to hear from you.
Or is that only for Americans, or is it for anyone else completely from whatever country?
I think that they probably have more respect for people not from America. But for Americans, for sure, it's like know your place. Like go
fair
away,
enough.
go away. But honestly, like it was a super fun place to just like observe. Like obviously, like it's so different from the U.S.
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways. Like they just have way more like public life going on. Like people hanging out in parks, restaurants, outside. Just like it's far more of a chill vibe, which is something that I kind of tried to like take with me back to Chicago for sure.
And even like doing stand up like internationally. That's a whole different.
It's a
vibe.
whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, I think being an American is interesting because this was during the election as well, which was very big. This is during the. This
so
is,
everybody had an opinion.
This was right. This was right during the.
your opinion.
Everyone. This is right during the election. Prague, beautiful city. My favorite city I've ever been to in the world. So
I've heard that from many people. I've never had a chance to go.
It's a lot. It's just, and being an American, I don't think it was as much like. France, everyone speaks English there. So I was at a film school. I never studied Czech. Czech is it's a crazy ass language. Just a crazy, ridiculous. I'm not disrespecting. I respect everybody. It's a crazy. I knew how to say yes, no. I knew the numbers 1 through 10. I knew the word for beer. That was it. Like,
that's all you need.
That's all I knew. But the people, like I was saying, the stand-up scene had people from a lot of different countries. So I think that what you were working with is that with every place that you were from came a certain expectation of what would work, right? So our host, who is Scottish, would always go up and do 3 minutes about drinking, like drinking because he's Scottish, right? And it's just, it's very interesting because, yeah, I think when you're American, certain connotations follow, but there is also an expectation to, or an opportunity to break that, like how can I change the way people think about me? My comedic inspiration is very much like Mitch Hedberg, Hannibal Buress. So I was at this very interesting place where Prague is kind of going towards legalization of marijuana. So it's very cool to kind of smoke and do that sort of stuff. So it really helped me kind of like hone my persona, if that makes sense, and find what works. Like the American stoner was something that I think was still like an archetype that they hadn't really seen, which was really fun. But also it also could pigeonhole me a little bit, like there were times where I would go too far into that space. But doing comedy abroad is like, it's indescribable, but it's so fun. You also realize it's the same stage, it's the same mic, it's the same audience. There's jokes that'll work, there's jokes that don't work, but we're all kind of the same people. We're all kind of the same people, and it was just it was just so fun. It just really makes you experiment.
You guys have been doing stand up for how long now?
Year and a half. No,
years.
A little bit more than a year. He's been doing it for longer than all of us.
Yeah. I started I did my first open mic when I was 17. And then, so like.
While you were in Roger. No, you were
I was in Green Bay at a little place called the Green Room in De Pere, Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
And my stand-up crew would be, I'd do an open mic, it would go okay.
Yeah.
And they would be like, hey, come back. I'd be like, sure. And then I wouldn't for like 6 months, right? And like, so up until Prague, I have probably done 15 shows,
Gotcha.
15 mics,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then when I got to Prague, I had some friends at I went to a film school. I had some friends who also did stand up. And so the three of us would we just made it a weekly thing. We're like, let's hang out, let's write jokes beforehand, let's try to do 3 new minutes every time.
That's cool.
And let's do it.
And I mean, 15 shows is not a lot, but like with stand up, right? I think the coolest thing is like you guys took that and brought it to your home base.
Yeah.
Right? And if it now is literally in your house.
Yeah.
So then the pressure is just like you being yourself now.
Yeah.
Right. And because with stand up, often you're doing it at different rooms, etc. And especially if you're new in the game, you're trying a different persona. You're trying to figure it out. What do you need to do in this room to adjust? But often the case, you're not being yourself. You're being someone else. And then eventually, over time, you start to learn to be yourself.
Absolutely.
But if you take that and bring it right to your base, to your home, then there's a higher chance of you just be you.
In front of your peers.
Yeah.
It's in front of people everything. The pressure goes up a little bit when it's like when you're gonna like talk to the person the next day and they're gonna tell you whether or not you were funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point though.
General,
But you also have home court advantage.
Exactly.
If you're wearing house shoes to the stage, it's like
I go up in my Uggs every single time. There are like pictures of me on our Instagram. I have like my this like comfy, just like a massive blanket over me. You can get kind of comfortable, but it is nice. Like especially like myself, who like I had kind of started doing stand-up comedy in our attic. Like that's really the only place where I've been going.
Yeah,
and like I want to actually go. We've been making plans for the last like 4
We
weeks.
really want to.
Yeah, to go into the Chicago scene to perform.
Yeah.
But it was like a very cool process of like really trying to find who I was on stage, because it very much is just like trying to go up there and you go up there the first time and you're like, okay, this works, this doesn't work, how can I change it for next time? And it's just like a constant process of just like adjusting and changing until, and like I feel like people who like all of us like performed before, but like you have that one set or that one time where something clicks and you're like, oh, that's what I want to try to follow, that's what I want to try to do, and then after that it's just kind of pursuing just that one moment or feeling a lot.
And it's,
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna ask. So I've always made the distinction in my mind, right? When it comes to comedy, it's a job, it's a skill, it's an instrument you can learn how to play, right? So in my mind, there's funny people naturally. It doesn't matter if they work at a gas station or if they, if they're the news anchor or if they're a comedian. And then there's comedians, which are people that can learn how to do a setup, punchline, or whatever. It's not always going to be a funny person that's a comedian. And it's not always going to be, you know what I mean, somebody that is naturally funny that jumps into comedy. When you find the two that mix together, that's when you get some of the best that's out there, right?
Yeah.
Now you guys are, I've known Jackson and I get the vibe. He's a funny guy. We just green room and you could tell a lot about a comic real quick. And then even in this conversation, I could tell you're a fun hang too, Mateo. So Northwestern University.
I'm glad Mike picked this up. Thank you. Yeah.
It seems like in recent times, and just the state of colleges, universities, young people these days, there's a lot of not fun.
Yeah, correct.
Happening.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of conversations where you got to be like, well, watch what I say. I don't want to lose my.
You read my wave. I was thinking this. I was wondering because I'm like, they've done these two guys, and really hats off to you both. You guys have done an incredible thing. You created something in undergrad when most undergrads are not doing that, right? But I was thinking as you guys were talking that it also coincides with a very particular moment in Northwestern's history. The last 4 years have been some of the most turbulent years in the last like several decades institutionally. How has like the attic space functioned in relation to that?
Like quite directly, honestly. Like we find that we kind of have to be, I don't know if it's have to, because I think that it like the moment that we're in kind of forces you to be quite specific with the words you're choosing or the jokes that you're trying to make. And in my opinion, it forces you to be a better comedian, I think, because like you very much like have to be aware of the political context that you're talking in and like who's around you and who might be coming to your shows. And especially like to your point, like it's like Northwestern kids are a little like I would say like the litmus test there is like a little bit higher that you have to reach for like what is funny and what is not funny. And so like we've seen Chicago comedians who are killing the city come up here, and it's a little bit different because you kind of got to read the room and like the vibes, I guess, are a little bit different. And so I think in that sense, it's kind of made us better because it pushes you to be more like specific with your jokes. And like especially like I'll give you an example. Like I think that we see comedians will come in and just kind of like punch down, just like lowest common denominator all the time, and sometimes that gets you laughs, but like they make you work for that shit. In our
Samir, you got to change your act before you come to the.
Everything down.
No, go ahead.
Well, I would say it's interesting being with the university because we're not like a university affiliate, right? And it's really interesting coming into. I mean, Northwestern is storied and famous for its comedy. That's why I came here. That's why a lot of our roommates came here. And I came in as a freshman and I wanted to get into every comedy organization. And I truly believed that I could. And I was like, I'm really going to get in here. I'm going to make a change. I didn't get into shit. I didn't get into a single thing. Everything is so competitive, especially your freshman year at Northwestern. And I just got bounced from everything, you know? And my dreams were always to have a super big, like, instrumental role in the Northwestern comedy scene. And coming in as a freshman, I thought that would be in a more official sense, right? Like running one of Northwestern's or being in Northwestern's big groups. But the Prattic is an off-campus thing, you know. This thing like will never be on Northwestern's official.
And what
website,
are the big, like, if you were to describe Northwestern comedy scene?
Like Meow, like improv is a lot of improv.
Huge.
Improv is huge. You got Meow, you got the Titanic players, and it's full of hilarious people, you know. And like also,
the freshmen, we would go to the shows all the time as freshmen as people who aren't really improv
inclined, and be like, man, this is 10 people who are just so funny and so fast and so sharp. Like, how do I ever fit in here? You know, like, how will I ever fit in here? And we just kind of made a space of our own too. And it's so beautiful to see that something can work. I also think something that's interesting is that Prattic kind of takes an underground role in relation to Northwestern, right?
Okay.
Because everyone knows it's Northwestern, right? It's all Northwestern students in there for the most part. It's run by Northwestern people. It's on an area of Northwestern or area of Evanston that's like the Northwestern neighborhood, right? But it's everything except for in writing that is a Northwestern thing. But having that degree of separation really is really nice. It helps us.
What does that open up? Like, are people coming to you guys and saying things they wouldn't say in classes? What is it?
I think it's a mix of that, and then also I think people appreciate being able to, in college especially, when you're so surrounded by Northwestern, it's just punching you in the face all the time. I think there's an appreciation that you can just kind of like go somewhere. It's $3 ticket and you get a free drink. And like, if we were connected to Northwestern, we wouldn't be able to give out drinks, for example.
Sure, yeah.
And so like, I think people just appreciate like kind of being there, but being able to get away from like the umbrella of Northwestern. I think it just kind of creates a calmer environment.
So there isn't like a case where some students come with certain expectation of you addressing some political issue happened at Northwestern?
No, not
like, there's a little bit of Northwestern based like comedy, but we don't talk about like I mean, there's a couple jokes about the presidency and stuff like that, which I think is always funny, you know, with how much we're rotating and stuff. But I say that usually I think so many of our classes are grounded in the present day moment, and we talk so much. I think that the jokes and what people are trying to address more comes under the larger umbrella of stuff,
it's a pressure
right?
release. And plus, I mean, salute you guys, because that story, that Genesis, it's in my opinion one of the most American things you can do is walk up, hey guys, can I be a part of your club? No room. All right, cool. I'm gonna go make my own club. And then eventually the first club comes around. Hey, you want to work together?
No, that is genuinely what has happened. And like part of like this is something that we had wanted to do for a while, but the whole like low barrier part of it became really important to us too, as a contrast to what was happening on campus, because like Northwestern, obviously like top 10 university, whatever, it's like fucking 3 rounds of interviews and just bullshit to get into any club, club at all. Like I'm in, like obviously I do politics stuff. I'm in a nonprofit consulting club. I don't know how I got in. I don't know any of the math. I'm a personality hire. Like both of the founders have told me that, but it looked. I know, and also like there were like 3 interview stages. One of them was like they were like presenting us with like cases and math and stuff like that, and they started talking about the math, and my head just immediately went up and started daydreaming. Like I had zero idea what I was doing. But anyways, there are all of these processes and like interviews that you have to do for it, and we were like, fuck that. Like that just seems like really dumb, and it kind of like inhibits people from doing what they want. And so to sign up for our open mics, it's literally just a Google sheet that Jackson and I made like a year and a half ago, and we
still running strong.
Slowly been updating it, and people like just really fuck with it. Just being able to go in and put their name on the sheet, and like we actually over the summer we tried to like professionalize it a little bit more. I guess
took the glory out.
It took the glory out of it.
Completely took the glory out.
People really fuck with just like the plain like Google sheet. The simplicity of it, which is super cool.
So not only have you guys because this is a legacy you guys established. And even after the next 6 weeks, you guys graduate and go whatever, right? This still persists. This is gonna still exist.
Well, that's the question.
That's the question.
That's
So
the lease is about to be up.
The lease has been signed. Whoever is living in the Prattic has been living in the Prattic, or knew that they will have lived in the Prattic. They will have known for months and months, right?
Do you guys know who it is?
So we don't know who no, they came in, right? Did they come in?
Barely met them, but like
They're not.
Are they comedy people?
No.
So it's kind of gonna.
Wow. That's almost better because now you guys are legendary.
There's
this kind of like vibe Northwestern where it's like all of these really cool things die, and like we're very much like totally chill with that. Like we were part of like a satirical comedy group, which is now very much dead, called Sherman Ave. Yeah, and it was like it'd been here for like 20, 30 years. Like it was pretty big, and it was like just like writing satirical comedy, kind of like The Onion a little bit, and that shit just absolutely died. And like there's all of these other examples of just like really cool stuff dying. So I kind of
like way of like passing it to someone else.
It's I think that what can be passed on to people has already been passed on. You know, like the culture that like on a Monday night, like everyone comes to the Prattic. You know, like there's we sold out our show on Monday. We turned extra 30 people away.
There's like people like they're I mean, it's crazy. I had the most surreal. We both work at Domino's right next to the Foster stop. I was walking to
my car. I was doing a delivery, and there were two random people that I'd never seen before, just talking about the Prattic. They were like, they were like, what'd you do on Monday? They're like, I was like trying to get into the Prattic. I waited forever, and I finally got in. It was so surreal. That was the first time that I had heard like something that I had done be talked about by somebody else. And I think that the fact that people are talking about stand up and talking about doing it, if somebody is to be inspired to continue to do that next year in their own space and kind of uphold it, it's already happened. You know, like it's happened. There's people who I think feel that.
Man, I grew up with like, so now there's gonna be a legacy. There's gonna be people that talk about the good old days when they were in college and going to the Prattic and they met whoever, or you know, they started a group with other people that grew to a business or a marriage or whatever, and then to have that kid. I grew up with Michael Jordan being the greatest thing to ever touch a basketball ever, period, point blank, right? I can't explain to you guys, you're too young, I can't explain the vibe feeling in the air of what it is. Like you could watch tape. I heard like last year Jordan was supposed to be like an analyst for the thing. My heart almost broke because no, don't just say another word. You came out with the whatchamacallit, the Netflix series,
The Last Dance.
And The Last Dance. Regrew the legacy. Now they really get to see. He's gonna come out on TV and talk to Bob Costas or whatever. Say something goofy. He's gonna try and go like catchy. I don't know 6, 7 points, and everybody's gonna be like, ew, get him out of here.
You don't want that image.
Be a mystery.
Absolutely.
So so you guys done this amazing thing. You're leaving this legacy behind. And now talk to us about this festival. This is sort of this is what you guys. This is the culminating. This is the so tell us the details. Tell us the concept.
When did the idea even come about? We're at the perfect part because this exactly stems from the idea of like how do we leave a legacy and like us being like damn we're gone. Well, you know,
October, I think.
We had just thought about the idea. I think just the Prattic Fringe Fest just sounded cool.
Well, we both really like we both really like UK comedy, like in European stuff. Like that's like we like some of the TV shows and like the comedians and stuff, and so we obviously know about Edinburgh Fringe, and we just really liked the idea that it was just kind of an amalgamation of a shit ton of different types of comedy and performances and all of this stuff. And so we were like, okay, how can we do this? What might that look like? At first, it was going to be a bunch of performances at our venue and then just like random attics and basements across Northwestern's campus. But we were like, okay, how do we open this up to all of Chicago? Because very much like Northwestern, obviously, like we've spoken about it here, but like there's like that like super legacied like comedy scene, like Stephen Colbert, like SNL, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, all of those like famous people that you know. But there's such a disconnect between us and Chicago, and that's partially because the Purple Line sucks, and it's difficult to get into the city. But then also like we're just kind of like away in our own like little suburb, and it's tough to get in, and so we were just like, let's expand this out, and we kind of like started thinking about what we wanted to do, and then in like January,
Yeah,
mid-January, something like that. Him and I just like locked in, and we made the first like rough schedules for what we wanted things to look like, and we just started randomly reaching out. We reached out to like Annoyance Theater, IO Theater, the Comedy Bar, Laugh Factory, Zanies, anywhere. Even like Drunk Shakespeare we reached out to. And some of them got back to us, others just ignored us, and we just kind of moved on from there.
Do you want to drop names?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
We're slowly building an in spite of list.
In our
notes app, we got like an in spite of
all
list.
these people. I mean,
that's the thing.
Those
right?
are the people that remember everybody that got drafted before.
Exactly. That's our film. But I mean, we just. I think we started with there's a Northwestern professor named D. Ryan, who had worked for the Second City, and we just emailed her and like, hey, we want to do this. Like, what? Like, we were just like, can we talk to you?
Yeah.
We were just like, can we talk to you? And you know, and she was so helpful. She was so helpful. She gave us, I mean, we have a notes app from that conversation. She just gave us people and places and things that we can go and do. And we're like, okay, we got shit to go do. We go and do it. We hit up the people she hit up. They give us people to hit up, and it just
that's genuinely how it works.
It just branched out and branched out. And I mean, it has just been, I mean, so it really evolved. And I think that, I mean, I love Chicago. You know, I grew up in Rogers Park. I love Chicago. And as a film student, the pressure, you know, as you're getting out of college is to go to New York or LA, you know, right? But what about Chicago? You know, and I don't know where I'm going to end up, right? But one of our big things that we realized is we're like, wait, we were able to connect with so many working actors and comedians and people who ran venues. We were like, wait, like, if you just work and you are connected with the Chicago space, there's people who have learned, like you guys, there's people who have learned to just do this and do amazing shit with your life, you know, that if you were like, I have to go to LA, I have to go to New York, you would never be able to interact with that sphere. You know, there's people that you never, you know, there's so many people out here that have like-minded dreams that want to do what you want to do. And you can really try your teeth, and you can do stand-up, you can do theater in Chicago, you know, and when we do stand-up and we do theater in Chicago, we contribute to the scene, you know.
That's right.
And I think you guys are, I'm sorry, I think you guys are the first generation where the New York, LA, wherever isn't as important. But
I agree.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's the thing with stand-up and improv. It's like with improv, well, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's a very team-based, right? So I've done improv. I heard improv in Second City, right? So it's a very team-based. So then the community is very supportive of one another. So when you're in an improv environment, everyone's talking to you. No one's letting you be in your own little silent area because it's a bubble of like, hey, we'll all support one another. Here's a project I'm doing. You guys should come and support and whatnot, and they'll connect you to different places, all the stuff. Where stand-up is the complete opposite. Stand-up, everyone is like, you know, me, myself, and I. Right? And that mentality.
Totally.
And often the case, you don't see someone doing great things, or you don't support them or encourage them until you see them pop off.
That's true.
Then you're like, that guy got something going on.
Exactly.
Let me see if I can be in that. And that's the thing about stand-up is that everyone got something going on, but sometimes everyone kind of closes their doors until they see that person kind of on the rise. Then they're like, let me open that door for that guy and see, right? And that's the thing. But when you guys doing the festival,
so tell our listeners when is it, where is it, what should people know?
It's
give them the rundown.
Sure, it's May 7th through the 11th. It's going to be at venues throughout Chicago. So like IO, Annoyance Theater, the Home Theater. Chicago Home Theater, Annoyance Theater,
and the Attic.
And our attic. We got two shows in our attic. And all of the profits are going to the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights.
Beautiful.
So we're not keeping a cent. And obviously, like, we're independent as well, so all of the money being raised to use for the festival, it's all grassroots. It's all come from like people who are supporting us. We've probably called like 50 businesses trying to like advertise with them or like get money from them, whatever we can. And it's kind of like, honestly, like talking about this now and looking back on it, it's kind of crazy how it's all come together. To be honest with you, like we're gonna have like really cool comedians and improv groups who are already performing throughout the city. We have a bunch of like former Second City people coming and like headlining for our IO event. We're flying a few comedians out from LA and New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it's just all really come together. And what's really surprised me the most, and maybe this is partially because we're like, this is all for charity, but people are just so wanting to help.
How do they get tickets? How do people get tickets?
People can get tickets at www.pratticfringe.com.
Got it.
You can get tickets there. You can see our lineup. You can donate to the cause. You can you can see where the locations are happening. That like website, pratticfringe.com, is essentially just like the home base for everything.
You guys have socials?
Yeah,
where people can
we're
follow
at the Prattic on Instagram, at the Prattic Prattic. Yeah, I'm trying to think a little bit more about the schedule.
I mean, it's essentially. Do you want to explain?
Yeah. If people are trying to come out, like the way it works is obviously May 7th through 11th. So it starts on a Thursday. We got our grand opening event. Mike's going to be performing in that event. It's going to be like Best of the Chicago at the Prattic. So a bunch of Chicago comedians. So we start Thursday night, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's where the bulk of our programming is going to take place. So basically, the way that it works is we have different slots. So it's like 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 9 to 11, right? So it's like every 2 hours we get a little further into the city. So we start at our first shop, we call them like workshop slots. So that's like kind of free workshops. Some of them are going to be in person. Some of them are going to be virtual. So we've got people who do like satire writing. So we're going to do something on like writing for The Onion. I've got a connection who went and started a comedy club in Amsterdam called Boom Chicago. It's where where Jordan Peele, Jason Sudeikis got their start. So he's going to come on and do like a virtual panel about doing stand-up abroad.
That's
so
incredible.
Like our early sort of morning stuff is going to be more for people who just want to learn, and see what it's like to try and get jobs. Like we're very much, obviously it's for the community, but it's also kind of focused around people in like the beginning stage of wanting to learn to make a career in comedy, because anyone can do it. That's the coolest thing. So we start with our workshop slots, like that's usually going to be in the afternoon, and then we do student slots, so that's 5 to 7.
We got like a few. We're working with like, obviously it'll be on campus stuff, and then Piven Theater, which is real close by off of the Noise Stop. And so that'll just be all student groups.
And then we get 7 to 9. We call it like community slots. So that's a little bit. We got like, there's a theater in Ravenswood called the Bughouse Theater. So that's we're doing like more hybrid stuff. So there's going to be a night where it's 2 professional improv troupes and then a student improv troupe. So we can kind of blend, people together. And then 9 to 11, those are like our big shows. Like, so that's like our headline.
Not to cut you off. Because I'm sure you guys already have this covered, because you are ridiculously wise for your age. But what's the name of your videographer that's going to be capturing all of this to put together? Obviously,
we have like, what's been really cool about it is we just have such like, it's all students. We have not like a big team, but we have a lot of people helping us, which is really nice. So we have a few different people. We have some. Obviously, what's nice is like we're very connected in the film community. So we have a bunch of friends who are gonna just like volunteer.
This is being documented.
Good point. This is legacy work right here. Absolutely.
It's all being documented. We have a photographer who's been coming out and like helping us make content, Colleen. She's super cool.
On Theo
made our website. Like if you go see our website, it looks actually professional, and it's crazy. It's nothing we could have ever done.
Basically, everything it's all done by students.
Everything is
so like our social media students, our website, like oh my god, www.pratticfringe.com. Just go check it out.
It's
like
crazy.
Theo
put his on the screen
right about now. Theo put his life. We love you. It's
put
so
on
sick.
that TV right there.
Right here above us.
But yeah, dude.
Hey, I'll tell you
cool.
this. I think we're about to shake spots, man. Whatever the future holds for you guys, you're gonna be amazing at it, just based off of the drive, determination that you guys are showing on this. Because I would have wasted every drop of my parents' money and time.
Look, man, there's so much these days. People love to say, all the doom and gloom about the future. the kids are going to be all
It's
right.
inspirational.
It's inspirational, and it just makes me proud to be a faculty member of this university. And this is dope.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
So we got this festival.
having us.
This is good stuff, man.
Thank you, man. It's nice to meet you, man. Thank you, man. Hey, thanks for having us out. Super.
All right, and then what do we got? What do we got coming up? Put them on the spot.
We got a few things. We have tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. This episode probably won't be out by
Probably
tomorrow,
not.
but you know, we have our Laugh and Flow show coming up. It's our fourth one. We have an amazing headliner, Dwayne Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then we got we cooking.
We got some guests, but we can't really say it right because
Yeah.
we got like big guests.
Yep.
On the calendar, and then we got some like super interesting guests. We got big name comedy stuff coming up. We got big name academic stuff coming up.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
award winning, like
That's true.
legitimate,
That's
like
true.
the biggest award you can get type.
Yep. We have some good guests coming up, and then we have a new show that Samir is spearheading at the Comedy Plex that really focuses on storytelling.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
Yeah.
And
Funny
this
but
is,
true.
This is probably one of our last few episodes in the old space because we got a new stew.
That's
Yeah.
coming up.
As well.
We're moving. School of Education and Social Policy is moving from Annenberg to Jacobs. So we still got a few more. We got a few more. I think end of the summer. So we got a few more to go. But it's been good.
All right. Well, more in store. Big round of applause for our guests.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Jackson.
Thank you.
And we're the PCWB. And we'll be back.
Pass German. Don't
Please graduate. I hate to say all these nice things. And then you see,
still going on.
By the way, guys, the legacy continues.
It's the last dance, bro. It's the last
I'm 26
dance, bro.
years old.
Yeah, the last dance.